You're listening to Tuned Into NoCo. I am Priscilla, and today I'm speaking with Janet Hatfield, Nonprofit Development Manager for Healing Warriors. For those who are unfamiliar, what is Healing Warriors and how did it come to be?
Absolutely. Healing Warriors program is a veteran nonprofit. We are a 501c3. We're also a VA vendor and a GuideStar Platinum charity. What we do, our main mission is suicide prevention, and we do that by treating our veterans, and not only the veterans, but their spouses/partners and also their parents. We do non-narcotic treatments for our veterans, and we treat them for PTSD, for traumatic brain injuries, for sleep disorders, for interpersonal trauma, and for chronic pain. Those are all the pieces that tend to lead to suicide ideation. So that's why we try to tackle those main key factors that we found with our veteran population. We have a clinic in Fort Collins that we treat our service members in the northern Colorado and Wyoming areas that come down. And then we also do monthly pop-up clinics in Longmont, in Denver, and in Colorado Springs to treat those service members. It's all free care for those guys. All they have to do is walk in. We treat every service member from every branch, every era, and we have recognized what the different challenges are with each era. Each one of them has their own signature set of injuries or things that have affected them in the long run, from World War II being frostbite to Vietnam being Agent Orange. And then with Afghanistan, it was percussive injuries because the armory that they wear had gotten better to protect them from being killed, but you can't protect the brain that well. So even with better helmets and everything else, they were dealing with percussive injuries, no different than football players. You got a great helmet on, they're still getting percussive injuries. So traumatic brain injury is a huge thing that we deal with on the Afghanistan side, and the fact that there's multiple and rapid deployment for those guys over and over and over, so they don't even get a chance to rest. The biggest thing that brings them in the door, I think, as well, is the fact that we can help them sleep. Veterans are hypervigilant 24/7 and don't know how to get a good night's sleep without being put on a million different narcotics and opioids, which is what we try to then get them off of. Because once, no different than any addict, you start getting on drugs to treat something, the effectiveness of that drug starts to wane as you start to get used to taking them. So they keep taking more and more, and they're actually masking the causes of what's going on and just trying to treat the pain portion just to be able to sleep. We had one gentleman that I had a chance to interview who was on 18 different prescriptions by the time he left the military. And after coming to us for a little while and through some self-management on his part, he was down to 2. So those are the kind of things that we like to see, because we're really trying to help them on a pain level management with our acupuncture, and we do multimodalities for our veterans. We figure out, we're not going to tell them what's the best for them. We need them to try things out and say, what's working for you? Let us tailor this to you to figure out what's going to help you the most. Mm-hmm. So it all came to being with Anna Yellen and Shelley Poland are our co-founders, and they really saw a gap in care for military when they were both in the high-tech sector, because that's who they were hiring. Anna hired a lot of veterans because that was what they were cleared for. In a high-tech industry like that, you need special clearances, and so they were the most apt to come into that kind of an environment. But then she started seeing the problems that were going on with those coworkers and with the people that worked for her, and started seeing the gaps in care that they had that they couldn't get other places without being narcotically treated. Mm-hmm. So started offering free sessions wherever she could, and Wings Over the Rockies actually said, yes, come in and do it. And so they started bringing in practitioners who volunteered their time. And then another co-worker friend of theirs said, you need to turn this into a nonprofit. And slowly but surely, that's what happened. And started off with donated space up and down the Front Range. We started in Denver and then slowly migrated up north and have grown. It established in 2013, and now here we are 2022, and we have a 5-clinic, office, 2,000 square feet plus business offices, and still do our pop-up clinics, still do homeless events and yellow ribbon events and stand down events, and every event that has a veteran flair to it, we're generally there to help treat them. The combat vets that do the motorcycle run, we're there to treat them when they get off their motorcycles. So we have a footprint a little bit everywhere. So that makes it nice. And the hardest thing to convey to the veteran population is it's okay to not be okay and to walk in. We're here to treat everybody. The stigma of being the tough guys and not being able to ask for help is, that we don't care about that part. We're not going to judge you. We don't believe in that part. If you can't sleep, walk in. If anxiety has got you, walk in. That's what they're there for. As long as you have a DD-214, you are there and we will treat you.
That's amazing. Can you tell me, Janet, how did you find your way to Healing Warriors?
I saw the position open and it spoke to me because I myself am not a veteran, but my dad was a retired lieutenant colonel in the military and he's since passed away years ago. I have an ex-husband who was also in the Vietnam War. My mother was actually a civilian working for the Air Force. So I have a military background in that sense without it being a direct connection. And I've known, I've been friends and have lost a few military people in my life to suicide. Mm-hmm. So, and I have a background in therapeutic massage on top of that. I'm licensed for that as well. So everything that they were doing really resonated with me. And I saw with my background in development that I've had, I knew it was someplace that I could be and I could help and I could really put connections together to give them a bigger footprint and to help them raise the funds that we need, because we operate based on grants, on donors, whether it's public or private donors, and then fundraising through events. Everybody knows that COVID killed all of the event cycles out. So fundraising is hugely important for us on those levels, and to not have that takes away from what we can provide, even though we're not going to let that happen. We will find the money wherever we can, because the one thing we don't want to have is for a veteran to have to make the choice between their health care and their rent or their food, which is why we have a client care navigator as well on site who will meet with every client that comes in to find out where are your gaps. Is it food? Is it rent? Is it gas? Is it tires? What is it? What can we connect you with to fill those other gaps? Because your anxiety that you're trying to get down by coming in for treatment is not going to go down if the rest of your situation is stressing you out, as well as just the pandemic and Afghanistan. And, the pullout of Afghanistan re-triggered so many Vietnam vets because it was literally a carbon copy of the pullout of Vietnam, except for better helicopters. So, so that's what brought me to them. And it's been a perfect situation on all levels.
And in your time with Healing Warriors, how have you seen it make an impact in Northern Colorado?
I think, just from the individual stories that we've just talked about a little bit, I've seen that impact, but just on an overall level too, because I think, especially with the pandemic, everybody's used to the 22 a day number that everyone throws out about suicides with veterans. 22 a day is a suicide number. With the pandemic, it rose to almost 38. A day because of the isolation and because of the fear that was going on out there, and the economy and everything that was happening just exacerbated those numbers for people. So for them to understand that you can walk in, we're not going to charge you, and we're here to help you. We reached out with telehealth. We made every step available to them. The pop-up clinics kept happening wherever we could keep them happening, to make sure that these guys are taken care of, and getting the message out that everybody thinks that veterans are so taken care of when they leave the military, and they're not. My charge has been to get the messaging out there that, especially for corporations and for businesses out there, when you post twice a year, thank you for your service, that's wonderful and that's amazing, but they need your help every day of the year. They need funding. We need funding. We are one of those direct service organizations. We're not just educating people on the problem. We're actually solving those problems. So we're the people that need to be looked at, and nonprofits are always kind of shoved under a rug when it comes to how do we get our voice heard. We don't have marketing budgets. Every dollar that we bring in that doesn't have to go to absolute hard costs go to the veterans. That's what it's about. It's about helping them. It's not about us having a grand, huge building and, the best swag to give out and, a million marketing dollars to promote ourselves. That's not the way it works. I do everything for nothing. It's social media. It's organizations like you who are willing to put us out there. It's, doing whatever I can to get the word out. So I think the impact that we've had is, it's organic. I mean, once you start helping people and knowing that we treat the family members as well, we're not just isolating the veteran and saying, we're only going to treat you because you're the one dealing with this. No, the entire family unit, the caregivers, everyone is dealing with that. So we want to make sure that we're treating everybody and that everybody has access to that care so that everybody can heal as a unit and understand, how do I deal with this man now that has been rapidly deployed 8 or 9 times, where he might have left when I was pregnant and now he's coming back to a full-blown family and, is there for a week and then gone again, and now all of a sudden he's out. How do I reintegrate this person back into his family and into society? That's what we're here to help do. So I think it makes a huge impact in the community because we're stabilizing those pieces of the community that a lot of people don't look at or don't recognize, because how many people that you work right next to, do you know if they're a veteran or not?
You guys are amazing. Keep doing what you're doing, please, and more.
Oh, always. I mean, until we all, I would love to be put out of business. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, is to be put out of business because we've solved all the issues, but we know that that's not going to be a possibility for a long, 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 long time.
Do you have anything that's stuck with you? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot, but
I think every day sticks with me. I don't know that I can really point out a particular situation because when you're dealing with the veteran population, it can go from 0 to 60 on either level all the time. So I don't know if there's anything in particular that really sticks out. I think every day I'm just proud and honored to be with an organization that is doing what we're doing. I mean, I've made some great connections, with our clients just coming in and goofing off with them and, seeing them when they come in to when they leave, and the difference just in their faces and just the little things that we do, from the care packages to soup kits that we have other organizations that, are helping us out by donating those to us pre-done. And, we have so many great volunteers and organizations that we are connected with that are always like, hey, what do you guys need? And bringing them into the fold. They're like, hey, we have this church group and we want to put together soup kits for you. Absolutely. Our storeroom smelled so great for the longest time. Every time I'd walk in, there was like, oh, well, cumin and curry and, because we have all these prepackaged soup kits, but right now we're doing garden kits. So Victory Gardens came along, started in World War I, actually really went huge in World War II because everybody got rationed in World War II to make sure that the troops overseas had enough supplies. So the U.S. got very rationed down. Well, that's where Victory Gardens started. They were encouraging everyone to plant your own gardens because it was food supplementation, it was income supplementation because you could either sell it, trade it, however you wanted to work that, and it didn't add to your grocery bill trying to go out there when the shelves are bare. So then when the pandemic hit, everybody's been container gardening now for years anyway. It's kind of become a thing, and especially in Colorado, everybody loves to have their own gardens and community gardens. And then when the pandemic hit, they really started to push that concept again for Victory Gardens.
They had the time.
And it was therapeutic because people were so isolated. They were so afraid to go out and do anything. Shelves were becoming bare. Produce was yuck. So if you could grow your own and be outside for mental health, it was perfect. It was great for their anxiety levels because they're out there digging in the dirt, and then they're growing their own stuff. I mean, we had other volunteers who came in and brought tubers for potato plants and other things in for us, and the vets were just snagging them up. So we reached out to a lot of seed companies and other places to donate seeds for us, and we were putting together little garden kits. Elevations helped, donate a ton of different gardening shovels for us, and we got them hats and put together all these little bags. We just gave out 50 of them on Saturday to the Pam Vets event that happens at Golden Corral every Saturday. Gave 50 bags out to those guys, so yeah, it's fun to be able to get creative, put those kind of things together, or have people come to your aid, on donating pieces for that and putting them in the hands of people that need them. We gave out blankets last year on National Hug Day because nobody could get a hug. We were still in the middle of a pandemic. You've got people in the nursing homes who haven't seen anybody or been able to hug anybody for how long.
Yeah.
So I worked it out with Columbine and Health Systems with Yvonne, who I've known for years. And I said, hey, we would love to give some virtual hugs to these people by giving you guys all of these blankets, and it was like a great thing that went over really, really well, So whatever we can do to kind of fill those gaps and reach out to our outside community, even because Columbine Health Systems isn't purely veteran. That's, they're assisted living, they're, retirement homes, they're everything under the sun. But it was like, if you want to take care of the veterans first, that'd be great. But then go and, spread it to everyone out there.
And for those in need of assistance or those who want to donate or help, how can they reach out to Healing Warriors?
Wow, we are everywhere. We are on every social media channel. The tricky part is that we are Healing Warriors Program. So our website is very long, but it's www.healingwarriors.program.org. We are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn, we are on Instagram, we are on Twitter. Our main clinic phone number is 970-776-VETS, which is 8387. So 776-8387. You can call our clinic. If it's after hours, please just leave us a message and somebody will immediately get back to you the next morning. If it's in a crisis situation, please use the suicide hotline, which I don't have in front of me, unfortunately. I should have gotten that. But you can also get on our website and we have a contact us form. If you have questions about our services, everything is available on our website. It's pretty easy to navigate. It has all the information on all of our different programs. It has your client initial intake form there that you can pre-fill out. You can call us, and if you don't want to fill it out ahead of time, you can come in and we'll help you fill all of that out. But yeah, everything is there. And like I said, we also have our pop-up clinics in Longmont, Denver, and Colorado Springs. And on our Facebook page, all of those are listed there as well. So if you don't want to make an appointment or if you're not in our area, you can just walk into those clinics. The sessions are shorter there so that we can make it through a lot of people. But that's a good way to kind of get your feet wet and learn a little bit about us.
Let's talk about your events coming up.
Our next one then is May 22nd, and that'll be at Spring Canyon Park, and that is our 5K run. So that'll be another fun event. We've already got people signing up for that. Registration link is ready to go there. If you're a runner, you can also get on Run Sign Up, which is where everybody goes to look for races. We're on there. That's where our registration is through. Again, sponsorships available for all of these things as well, and those are all ready to go. Our golf tournament is not up on our website. It should be up within the next week. That one is August 22nd, I believe. That one will be at Colorado National over in Erie. That's always a lot of fun. It's our Heroes and Home Builders. So if you are a trade or a home builder or a construction firm, anything along that line, we encourage you to become a sponsor or be a player because your industry supports a lot of veterans out there. So this is a fundraising event that really is to celebrate, the trades and how they've supported veterans over time. Mm-hmm. And with my earlier background with the Home Builders Association, I tried to tie those two things together, seeing all the veterans that those guys employed. So that's a really fun event too. It's one flight in the morning. I think we have our shotgun at 8:30, and then there'll be an awards lunch. So everybody can get done kind of midday and play hooky the rest of the day. Our last one so far, we have another one pending, but our last one on the books so far, which registration is not quite open for that one yet either, is our Denver Gala. We do that one at the Denver Aquarium, and that is our big Denver area gala because our footprint started there, so we have a lot of supporters in the Denver area. And that one is at Denver Aquarium on October 8th. And that all of our events are pretty much sellout events. The 5K is our first time this year. Our galas always sell out. So it's good to get in on that kind of stuff early as soon as you see registration open. Same thing with sponsorships. We normally sell out pretty quickly on sponsorships for all of our events. So yeah, get on the website and check those out. There is also a sponsor and marketing guide if anybody needs the entire year in one place. I have that available as well to make it easy for people to plan the rest of their year on giving us all your money because we'll take it.
What else would you like listeners to know?
That we're here. Like I said, everyone knows a veteran or wants to put their hat behind a cause. This is one to put your hat behind, to put your money behind, to put your hours behind, to put your heart behind. these guys have given up a lot, no matter what era they're from. And it's sad to see what's happening to the people that, didn't think twice about sacrificing themselves. And yet we want to hem and haw about, oh, do we really want to help them? That should even be a second choice, So it's, and the gratefulness behind those people, they call everybody the invisible angels. That's what they call the donors, the sponsors, the people that are supporting our cause. Because again, we are directly affecting these people's lives. We're not just doing education. We're not just talking the talk. We are directly affecting people's lives with what we're doing for them. So that's what I want to let people know. We're here because of the people that have supported us over time. And we need that support to keep on going and to keep serving as many people as possible. If we can get a second location going, absolutely. Over the next few years, we'd love to get a capital campaign going to actually own our own building and to keep being able to expand, because that's what it's about. Mm-hmm. It's getting us in those areas where it's harder for people to get care and for them to get access to care. So we want to make sure that everybody has that and it's available to them.
Janet, I want to thank you for coming on to Tune Into NoCo and talking to our listeners about Healing Warriors. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I mean, we're not here without you guys helping us be here. So I appreciate it.